are going to be talking about a movie that the living icon Brenda Song was in. She will forever be my London Tipton, but Brenda Song has been on Disney Channel for years, starting with her first Disney Channel movie, which she starred in, called The Ultimate Christmas Present. Next, she was in the movie starring Lindsay Lohan called Get a Clue, and she was also in the movie Stuck in the Suburbs starring Danielle Panabaker. After all of that, she got her second Disney original movie called Wendy, which this video is about. I also wanted to mention she is still on Disney with her show Amphibia that ended last year, and she does additional voices in a show still running called Hamster and Gretel. She is a 2-decade-long Disney icon, and I just wanted to highlight that before we started the video. Now let's talk about the reason you're all here, Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior. The movie starts by introducing you to Shen. He is training with his fellow monks when he is told he has to leave for his mission to defeat the evil Yang Lao. They specify he's evil so the audience doesn't think Shen is about to travel across the world to a different continent just to maybe hug him. They make it clear they are going to duke it out. Next, we are introduced to the main character, Wendy, who is talking to her friends about becoming homecoming queen when she noticed her brother is accepting a cookie from her rival for the homecoming throne. So she cuts his cookie in half using her lipstick, you know, normal teenage girl things. I remember when I poked someone's eye out with a beauty blender. Ah, good times. After the betrayal of her brother accepting a cookie from her sworn enemy, Wendy goes to talk to her mum, who works at a museum and is organising a bunch of ancient Chinese artifacts. Whilst all this is going on, Shen, remember him, he is walking to Wendy. He might have got a plane or a boat. We never know because we never see it. This scene very much implies he walked from China to California, aka across an ocean. Maybe that's a monk ability to walk across the water, but they do show him doing the final home stretch of his journey to Wendy by jumping on top of someone's moving car. Later that night, or maybe 3 weeks later, we don't know how long it took Shen to get there. Anyway, at some point at night, Shen arrives at Wendy's house. He knocks on her door, and when he opens the door, he stares at Wendy in disbelief. Then he tells her she is the woman warrior born in the Wade dynasty, sworn to defeat evil. Wendy then promptly shuts the door on the crazy man at her front door, like any sane person would do if a random man came to your house in the middle of the night telling you have to fight evil. Shen somehow super speeds into her house like he's the Flash and tells Wendy not to freak out. Again, like any sane person, she ignores the random stranger who just broke into her house and she attacks him. I would have thought Shen was a vampire if I was Wendy. A random weird look talking about the Middle Ages and he has super speed. Those seem like vampire qualities. But then I'd be like, do vampires need to ask permission before they enter someone's home? I would have been very confused. Wendy manages to get Shen out of her house and then goes immediately to sleep, which is typically what someone does after their house is broken into. Go to bed. Going back to the museum that Wendy's mum works out, there is a weird green glowing light. The security guard working that night goes to investigate and he walks into this. Mr. Security Guard, you do not get paid enough for this job to potentially die by supernatural means. The second you see it is a weird glowing box and not another person, your job ends. Your job is to deal with human thieves, not supernatural ones. Leave. The weird glowing light then possesses the security guard. It then possesses Wendy's brother when he delivers pizza to a security guard. Wendy's possessed brother goes home to vanquish her, so Shen yet again breaks into Wendy's house to stop the evil spirit. They proceed to have the world's most silent battle for like 5 minutes. Shen defeats him, then the spirit possesses Wendy's dog and runs away. No one mentions the dog for the rest of the movie after this point. How does no one in the family notice their dog is missing? The next day, Shen chases down Wendy and her friends on a tricycle, trying to give her a necklace to protect her from evil. Wendy continues to run away. Later in the day, in P, Wendy spins in the air like a Beyblade whilst kicking a football into her nemesis from earlier. Then Wendy realizes a lot of weird things have been happening to her recently. So when Shen runs up to her offering her answers, she says she'll listen to him. She is then told that she is a reincarnation of an ancient Chinese warrior who is destined to save the world. Bit of pressure to put on a 16-year-old. He told her that she only has one shot, but if she fails, it will lead lead to famine, earthquake, ocean rising, locusts, fire, drought, and darkness. What does darkness even mean? Will the sun go out? If it does, the rest of those things wouldn't be a problem anymore, because after 8 minutes, the planet would start to freeze, the oceans can't rise if they're frozen, and you also don't need to eat if you're a popsicle. So famine's solved, but let's just hope that darkness comes before all those other things, so at least we don't have to suffer long. I would also like to insert this clip of the dog still not being home. This is the last time we see him in the movie, and at no point is the dog brought up again. You'd think after telling someone that if they failed a task, the world would end, they would then buckle down and train to save the world. Not Wendy, she completely ignores him. That is until the Wicked Witch of the West over here tells Wendy that if she fails world history, she can't become homecoming queen. Wendy is sad she might not be able to live up to her dream. Then Shen offers to help her study and unlock her past lives so that she can pass Chinese history, which is coincidentally the subject she needs to pass. It could have been any history. Could have been Swedish. She's lucky. Shen and Wendy do a training sequence. Would it be a fighting movie if they didn't? They also have dinner with Wendy's family, and they go on a shopping trip to make Shen more stylish. During the shopping trip, Shen reveals this is the first time he has ever had chocolate. I was like, that can't be true. So I looked into it. The first time China was introduced to chocolate was in early 1700s when it was given to the then emperor, but it didn't become popular after that. The chocolate industry did not become popular until the 90s, and Shen only gets reincarnated every 90 years. This movie came out in 2006, so the last time Shen was alive, in 1916, he was very unlikely to have interacted with chocolate. So I'm sorry, Disney, that I doubted you. The next day, at a pool party, Wendy breaks up with her boyfriend. I don't think I've mentioned him so far. He is not important. The only reason I'm mentioning the breakup is because I found it funny that he got dumped because he started complaining that they were not wearing matching shirts. Now that Shen is dressed all cool, everyone wants to be his friend. One girl might even want to be more than friends. As she kisses him, Wendy sees this and runs to the poolside in jealousy. It's a good thing no one else sees this, because the jealousy would seem very weird to everyone else at the party, because up until this point, Wendy has been telling everyone Shen is her cousin. They are not related, but Disney has been heavily implying that Wendy has a crush on Shen. They can't date, or they are going to get aggressive side eye from everyone they know. When she's crying at the pool, she gets attacked again. Shen saves her. A combination of being attacked again and needing to pass world history, Wendy decides to finally take her warrior training seriously. Shen brings out these 4 statues of a tiger, snake, a leopard, and a crane. Then several of Wendy's teachers are possessed by the spirits of these statues, and they teach her how to fight. Do these people not have actual classes? Wendy and Shen just stole them from their daily lives. How do they explain the missing hours? After Wendy beats up her teachers, Shen reveals the night of the epic battle is the same night as homecoming, which Wendy found out she won. She's going to be homecoming queen. Wendy storms off, feeling betrayed that Shen didn't tell her up until now. Oh, and the evil spirit is now in Wendy's enemy over here. Again, all these spirits keep possessing people. Where do their family think they are? Yang Lao raises his army of statue people in preparation to fight Wendy. Wendy has decided she's going to homecoming instead of saving the world. Her grandma gives her a disappointed look, then leaves. As she's about to go to homecoming, the 4 monks rock up to her door, still possessing her teachers. They have just stolen these people from their family and friends at this point. This is theft. The monks inform Wendy that Shen has gone to fight Yang Lao alone. Fearing for Shen's safety, Wendy decides to go save him. She gets there just in time. Mid-battle with Yang Lao, Wendy's grandmother rocks up. She's known all along about this prophecy of Wendy battling because her mother was the previous warrior. She gives Wendy her mother's robe. I would like it reiterated. This is mid-battle. The creature that wants to plunge the world into darkness apparently waited for Wendy to get changed into her great-grandmother's robe. Maybe darkness isn't so bad. Seems like a stand-up evil spirit to me. Wendy uses her new skill taught to her by the body snatchers over here to defeat Yang Lao. She then frees Jessica from Yang Lao's control and gives her the homecoming queen's crown. Just when they think everything is over, Yang Lao returns, but in his true form this time. Shen then tries to sacrifice himself to seal away Yang Lao, but Wendy saves him. When Shen was first telling Wendy about the reincarnation, he also mentioned that every time they got reincarnated, Shen sacrifices himself to save the world. Here's Wendy saving him. Are you telling me none of the other reincarnations try to save him? It does not look that difficult. Wendy then destroys Yang Lao forever and releases Shen and herself from reincarnating ever again. And Shen decides to stay with Wendy now that he's free and not dead this time. This is meant to be a happy ending, but I really feel like she could have done both and kept her crown. She didn't need to give it away and be noble. It was meant to be like a message, oh, get rid of your materialistic things and become your true self. No, you can be your true self and have materialistic things. She could have her crown and a robe. She can be a girl who has it all. Wendy would have some of Disney's best fighting scenes in an original movie. To be fair, the only competition I could think of off the top of my head is Avalon High. It's like putting a dinosaur up against an iguana. I know which one I'm betting on. This movie deserves more recognition as one of the greatest. Watched it every time Disney replayed it. Why did this movie not have a trilogy like High School Musical, Descendants, or at least a sequel like Twitches or Teen Beach Movie? We were robbed. Maybe they can do what they did with Enchanted, where they made a Disenchanted several decades later. Unrelated but related. So many of the cast members of this movie had some involvement with the Power Rangers franchise due to the fact that they had the same executive producer, and I just found that an interesting fact I thought I'd tell you all. That is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day. Goodbye.